Do you truly understand how terrifying Wang Yue becomes when its fury is unleashed? Even Wang Lin, whose will was unshakable, was forced to retreat repeatedly under that overwhelming pressure. Continuing from before, Tanling's eyes widened in shock. What exactly was that colossal shadow? Perhaps after enduring the suffocating stench within Wang Yue's excretory region for far too long, even Tanling's mind had begun to dull. That shadow was nothing other than an entire mountain range. Despair filled Tanling's eyes, and the excitement he had just felt vanished in an instant. Meanwhile, Wang Yue had already devoured half of the mountain range, and the confusion in its gaze slowly faded. It suddenly remembered this was no ordinary object. It was formed from its own skeletal structure. The place where the intense pain originated was precisely where its bones existed. At that moment, an unprecedented rage mixed with unbearable pain erupted without restraint, driving Wang Yue into complete fury. Within the inheritance memories of the ancient god, there was a phrase used to describe Wang Yue, a sentence that Wang Lin had engraved deeply into his soul. The rage of Wang Yue is like the will of an ancient god. In that instant, the entire nebula shook violently. Deafening rumbles echoed across heaven and earth, spreading into countless surrounding star systems. It was as though every corner of the cosmos could hear that deep, furious roar emanating from within. Wang Yue's massive body began to stretch from its original spherical form, while an unimaginable aura slowly seeped outward. Wang Lin transformed into a streak of light and fled without looking back. Wang Yue locked its gaze onto Wang Lin's retreating figure and let out a roar filled with the will of an ancient god. In the next moment, it spat out dozens of smaller Wang Yue entities, each dozens of feet long. Tanling was among them. As he gazed into the starry sky, the excitement in his eyes flared once more. This feeling was indescribably exhilarating. At the same time, Wang Lin took a deep breath, pulled out the immortal jade bottle with only a small amount left, and drank it in one gulp. In an instant, silvery, immortal power surged through his body. Suppressing the intense pain and dizziness, he raised his right hand and pointed toward the swarm of Wang Yue rushing toward him. Body freezing technique. Taking advantage of that fleeting moment of immobilization, Wang Lin immediately fled at full speed without turning back. However, only these smaller Wang Yue entities were frozen. The true body of Wang Yue, the one that had become the entire planet Suzaku, remained completely unaffected. With a single charge filled with overwhelming force, it shattered the immobilization instantly. As Wang Yue closed in, Tanling was once again dragged into the massive fissure. Despair twisted into madness in Tanling's eyes. He bit down on his tongue and spat out a mouthful of blood onto a massive cauldron. The cauldron instantly released a sorrowful aura, and in the blink of an eye, Tanling swapped places with a smaller Wang Yue ahead. His face turned pale and savage as he roared toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin had long noticed Tanling. Without turning around, he pointed again. Tanling's body froze instantly. At that moment, Wang Yue's gaze fell upon the cauldron before Tanling. From it, it sensed a presence that felt extremely comforting. Back then, when Wang Yue had yet to awaken, the reason it did not kill Tanling was precisely because of this cauldron. Deep within its instincts, it desired to devour it. That was why Tanling had endured nearly 100 years of humiliation. The moment Tanling was immobilized, Wang Yue immediately lunged forward to swallow him. Tanling's vision went dark. When he regained awareness, he was already being dragged toward the edge of the fissure once more. Being swallowed in and out repeatedly filled his face with bitterness. At the same time, his hatred toward Wang Lin surged endlessly. "It's all because of you." Grinding his teeth, Tanlang formed hand seals and slammed them onto the cauldron. "Even if I must sacrifice my lifespan, I will escape this place," he roared in fury. In that instant, the cauldron expanded rapidly. At the same moment, Wang Yue's massive mouth was forced open by its growth. Tanlang seized the opportunity and rushed out, fleeing outward at full speed. But at that very moment, Wang Yue opened its mouth again, and the tentacles on its body extended instantly, sweeping toward Tanlang. Seeing this, Tanlang immediately took out a massive screen artifact, formed hand seals, and pressed them onto it. In an instant, the power of mountains and rivers erupted across the starry sky. The star compass beneath Wang Lin slowed slightly. His gaze sharpened as he stared at the enormous screen. He had seen this object before. Back then, Tanlang had said he could not find the true mountain and river map, but instead obtained a screen containing its projection. Wang Yue's eyes turned icy cold, and strange runes flickered within them. As those runes activated, a gigantic finger, hundreds of feet long, manifested before it. Though illusory, it appeared incomparably real. The rage of Wang Yue is like the will of an ancient god. Only now did Wang Lin fully comprehend the true meaning of that phrase. That enormous finger seemed as though it had been drawn by the heavenly Tao itself, carrying a pressure that felt capable of replacing heaven and earth. It descended slowly. At that instant, Wang Lin felt as though his soul was about to be forced out of his body. Tanlang, being the closest, experienced it 100 times more intensely. Without hesitation, he retreated rapidly and stepped into the mountain and river projection. In that instant, the will of the ancient god descended. Cracking sounds echoed as the mountains and rivers shattered. Tanlang spat out a large mouthful of soul blood, his body trembling violently as he nearly collapsed. Yet the ancient god's will did not stop. It continued pressing toward him. Wang Lin's eyes flashed as he stared at the damaged, yet still functional screen. Seeing the ancient god finger pursuing Tanlang, Wang Lin turned into an afterimage and appeared beside the screen. At this point, Tanlang had no capacity to care. He was desperately fleeing for his life. But at that moment, the ancient god finger suddenly paused, then slowly turned, locking onto Wang Lin. Without hesitation, Wang Lin raised his hand and pointed, not at the finger, but at Tanlang. Tanlang's eyes turned blood red as his body froze for an instant. Inside, he cursed Wang Lin madly. Though it lasted only a moment, it was enough to draw the attention of the ancient god finger. Seizing that opportunity, Wang Lin grabbed the screen and stored it into his storage bag, then retreated without hesitation. Tanlang's face turned deathly pale. At the moment the ancient god finger descended, he took out a radiant golden crown embedded with 5 massive gems: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. The light of the 5 elements instantly enveloped him. Without hesitation, he placed the crown upon his head. In an instant, golden light exploded outward, forming a massive phantom. Its face was indistinct, but it wore a dragon robe, enveloping Tanlang. To activate this immortal emperor crown, I slaughtered 9,999 mortal emperors and fused their souls within it. Let's see if it can withstand your will, you beast. As Tanlang roared hoarsely, the will of the ancient god descended and struck him directly. A world-shaking explosion echoed across the starry sky. The will of the ancient god did not waver in the slightest. Meanwhile, the golden light surrounding Tanlang shattered instantly. All 9,999 emperor souls dissipated into nothingness. Even the immortal emperor crown was knocked off and sent flying. Strangely, under the ancient god's will, it remained completely intact. A terrifying force surged into Tanlang's body. His body trembled violently before being hurled downward like a meteor, disappearing into the endless starry void, his fate unknown.